Today, we are going to be kokanee fishing at one of my favorite lakes here in the Cariboo. It's one of the lakes that we did really well on this spring, and for about 4 weeks there it was really hot. But it has slowed down quite a bit since. I know I was out earlier this week and there was lots of fish around, but none were biting, so I figured tonight we give her another try and see what happens. But I'm using a downrigger along with a kokanee dodger and a green wedding band. And that green wedding band is what we were catching all of our fish on earlier this spring. So fingers crossed it works for us again tonight. But I guess we'll have to see. But currently I'm just kind of cruising around the area and looking for some schools that we can do some loops in. So haven't seen too many so far, but what fish I have seen have been down at 50 feet on our depth sounder. So we'll search around here for a little bit longer and see if we can find a school. So I'm seeing a lot of the same thing as I did earlier this week. Quite a few schools, but not a lot of interest. So that's kind of a sign to me that they're not really interested in what I've got on. But that too could also just be that they don't want to bite in general. So a lot of times fishing does slow down here in the Cariboo during the summer months, between July and August, and it always picks up in the fall. So the biggest challenge in the summertime is actually catching the fish. So it doesn't necessarily mean we won't get a couple tonight, but it definitely isn't looking very promising as of right now. So we've just got another school of kokanee up here on the sounder. Not very big schools, but still something. So hopefully these guys are interested in the bait. But what we actually are using tonight is the Kokanee fire corn. This is usually what I use for kokanee fishing. A lot of people like to use maggots or mealworms or pink gulp, all sorts of stuff like that, but I have always had the best luck with just shoe peg corn. A lot of times it really doesn't matter what color you use, but I usually use dark pink and green, and I always have had good luck with that. You know, some people might have better luck with white or yellow, so it really doesn't matter what you use. It all works the same in the end, right? So, but it doesn't look like any of those fish are going to bite, so that's always good. That's okay. It's a nice night out here on the lake. The sun's shining. It's really been a really wet spring and summer so far this year. There's been maybe 1 or 2 days out of every week where it's been nice. So just being able to get out on the lake tonight, it's kind of a bonus. So essentially, kokanee are a landlocked sockeye salmon. So it makes them a really good fish to catch for eating and smoking, and a lot of people even can them. So just an all-around really good fish to eat. As well, like they're really fun to catch. They have a lot of fight in them. They fight all the way up to the boat, and it's different from fishing for trout, where you get the trout to the boat, and half the time they just give up. But a lot of times kokanee will give up once they reach the surface, and then as soon as they see the net, they start fighting again. So you really have to tire them out. I know this year we had quite a few fall off due to just not playing them out enough, and it was really frustrating. But once you get in that habit of just letting them play it out and get rid of some of that energy, they actually become pretty fun to catch and easy to net. So definitely a good learning curve this year was definitely figuring out how to properly get them in the boat. You know, it's definitely no big deal to hook one, but sometimes getting it in the net is just the harder part, especially when you're by yourself and you've got 2 rods going out of the boat. That's definitely a hard time for sure. There was definitely a few times where I was reeling in a fish, and then I go to get the net, and I'm trying to get him in the net, and the boat's going this way, and I've got another line out, and I definitely don't want my line to snag, right? So it definitely was a learning curve for me this year. So I'm gonna reel in now and try some different bait. I'm gonna probably use a combination of crappie nibbles and the fire corn. But what the nibbles do is it almost gives us a little bit of a scent trail. And that scent trail will attract the fish to follow us, right? So that might do it, might not do it, but I guess we'll have to see, right? So, but nothing has touched our bait, but I will show you guys what we're actually using tonight. And this is what we were using all spring when we were catching all those kokanee. So all that we were using was a Gibbs Dodger, and it didn't seem to matter what pattern was on it. You know, we had this one and another, you know, like a rainbow colored one and a pink one, and it really did not seem to affect the odds of catching them. So, but we're gonna try here different bait, and so we're gonna try some green corn and some pink crappie nibbles. Now these are the glow in the dark ones. I don't think it really matters. I think all that matters is the scent. So we will put there. And I always put corn on first. Just a personal preference. I find it works better, but it really doesn't matter what you do. So, oh, that's not a good piece. And another thing I do find with kokanee fishing is less bait is usually more. Now, some people might disagree with me, but I found a lot, even this winter especially, using only one piece of corn opposed to using 2 or more seemed to work more efficiently. And not 100% sure why that is, but that's definitely what I found is with kokanee, like up to 1 piece of corn, you know, it doesn't really, I don't think it really matters having, you know, 1 piece of corn and one of these little marshmallows there. That doesn't seem to affect anything because these eventually dissolve. But I definitely found with the corn, 1 piece is the golden number. So for those of you who haven't used a downrigger, I'm going to go ahead and show you. bear with me, I haven't used one very much at all, so it's still a learning process to me. But I find after the first couple times it gets pretty easy. So what I've been doing is I'll go about 10 to 20 feet behind my clip, and that'll be kind of like our leader length from our downrigger. You don't want it too far away, I find. That's what I've been also told, is the shorter the better, but you don't want it too short. So that's about 10 feet there, or a little bit over, probably about 20. And then what we'll do is we will take our line and take our clip that's connected to the cannonball, and we'll just put the end of the line right in the tip and throw that in. And then this is where it gets a little bit, can get a little bit chaotic, I guess, is so you release your rod, try to keep the boat straight, and then release the tension on the downrigger. And for this downrigger here, like, one turn is every foot, so 1 foot for every turn, and you slowly just let it down and keep the tension on it, not too much, because you don't want your line slipping out of the clip. And just carefully go down to the depth that you desire, and hopefully it catches you a big fish. So we're back down again at about 50 feet. We'll see what that does for us. And two, I found the more tension that you have on your rod, the more tension on the line and the rod, the easier it is to pull it out of the clip on the downrigger when you get a fish on. So that kind of helps too, quite a bit. So I usually like to have mine quite tight. You don't want too much slack in the water. And you'll usually see quite a few other people using downriggers. Their rods are quite bent over. So I guess the more I've used it, the more I've picked up on people's techniques and tricks. So definitely helps watching other people do it, seeing other people do it. But that's kind of how the whole fishing thing goes, right? You always pick up people's habits and pointers, and sometimes it can actually really help you out. So that's one thing that I've learned this year, is never be afraid to ask somebody who's catching fish how they're doing it. And a lot of times they're more than happy enough to help you out and give you advice. Oh yeah, we got one on, guys. Nice. Oh, we might get lucky and get this guy in the boat. Wow. He hit that like a freight train. Oh no, he's still on. Nice. So I might drag a little bit less. Here we go. But we're just gonna let him take the line so he doesn't snap it. I found that's the biggest important detail with kokanee fishing this year, is that you really have to play them out. And always keep your rod up. Say if you're reeling them up from below, or if you're reeling them from behind you, you always want to keep your rod as low to the ground as possible, or to the water, I should say. We're slowly bringing them up. We still got some fight in him. He must be hooked good, because he's sure fighting. Wow. I guess I shouldn't really assume that this is going to be a kokanee. This could also be a lake trout or a rainbow trout. Still got fight left in him. If he wasn't tired that time, he's going to be tired this time, hopefully. Oh. He just doesn't want to go in the net. I'm pushing my luck here. Wow, that is a big kokanee. Oh, wow. That is probably the biggest kokanee I have caught all year. Wow. Wow. Wow, that is a monster. They don't get much bigger than this, that's for sure. Wow. Look at the size of him. That is a beautiful, beautiful kokanee. And this is the biggest one out of this lake that I've ever caught. But what a beautiful fish. I would say he's about in the 3-pound range. And a lot of times the kokanee here get up to about 2 pounds. So this is definitely a bigger fish. But wow, what a nice, beautiful fish. Nice and silver. And put up one really good fight. So, wow. Yeah, that is great. So we're gonna try for a little bit longer here, and maybe we can get one more just like this. So we will get this guy on our chain, and we'll get the downrigger set back up and start trolling around once more. So I re-rigged up our hook with another piece of corn and one of the crappie nibbles, and we're just going to slowly troll our way back to the shore. Hopefully we get another one, but I think that one fish definitely made it worth coming out tonight, for sure. Like I said, that's got to be the biggest fish I've caught all year. Kokanee, that is. But man, did he put up a good fight. And that's another, that's one of the reasons why I love fishing for them, is when you get one on, it's just so much fun. And just the fight that we had with that fish, you know, we got him up to the surface there 3 times, and he just all 3 times took back off, and it really is entertaining because they fight to the very last second. So we're just gonna troll our way back now, and hopefully we get one more on the way back. All right, everybody. So trolled around for about another 20 minutes and seemed to be no interest at all. So we're gonna call her at that tonight. You know, we pulled up a really nice size kokanee, so I'm really happy about that. I was really excited to have that fight, and I'm really thankful that it was a great night out. You know, it was really hot today, and I figured it would be good to get out on a lake and do some fishing, so can't complain at all. So if you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content, and we will see you guys on the next one.